just basic business planning, because it's good to have a passion, but without a plan, you're not going anywhere. Yes, you can be stubborn for 1, 2, 3 years, but without a business plan, as long as you are not adopting rules of business, just basic business planning, sooner or later the time is going to catch up with you. And this is what it did for me. And now I can confidently say, I can tell the Romeo in 2008, 2009, then, no, my guy, this is what you should have done, should have started out, should have done this, you should have put things on paper, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Are there any institutions in Zimbabwe that train, you showed us something there, that there's something there. Are there any institutions in Zimbabwe that train entrepreneurs? Because I know that in some universities they offer a course for entrepreneurship, but are there any institutes that specialize in training entrepreneurs?
I don't know about specialized institutions. I would say that getting mentors is the better thing to do. In other words, hooking up with people who are already in business. So it might not be like going to school after work, but if you are in the space, in like-minded people, you get to hear from them, you get to experience what they've gone through. Then you move away from the mistakes that they've made. You are enriched from their experience. I would say that's the better way of doing it. I don't know about entrepreneurial schools. They might be there, they might not be there. But I think getting a mentor is really the best way to go. My mentor is Strive.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen what he has done with Econet. And the thing that I love most about Strive Masivo is he went beyond. Now, when you think about Econet, you don't think about just Econet, you think about how many lives he has touched. So it's not just about his profits. Yes, of course, he made profits, but he affected lives. He gave back. A lot of people, they went on to school, a lot of people benefited, and that's what it should be. So for me, that's my mentor.
Okay.
Yeah.
As I do a lot of research, reading, watching videos, I once saw a video on YouTube that said that before the schooling system was introduced, the schooling system was introduced during the Spartan age, where people would, be recruited to an institution and be trained, for a certain purpose. I heard that before that, there was this apprenticeship structure that was there, that if you wanted to be a carpenter, from a young age, you would go to a carpenter and learn how to be a carpenter. If you wanted to be a doctor, you would go to a physician and train with him. You become your mentor.
Yeah.
So because when you learn something, for the younger you learn something, the better you become at it. You cannot compete with someone who has been learning something for 20 years and then you just graduated at 25 and you're trying to start your mentorship, but there's someone who has been mentored since 11 years.
Yeah.
So the current educational system and mentorship programs, are they something that can be incorporated or formalized or structured, or mentorships are something that are more personal?
I think mentorships are more personal. I think it's clear. A lot of people have said it. Our current education system was something that we inherited, and it was structured to create employees. And therefore, it's not something which is created to give out, to churn out, employees. years. Now it's moving to a situation where we are trying to build employers as opposed to employees. But this will take time. But to answer the question, I think the conversation about mentors should be louder. We should be getting more people partnering with the big business people should avail themselves as mentors, as it were. But even if they don't, there are still a lot of people that we can get an example from outside our borders. That's why you see, for me, even though Strive Master is not here, I'm a great follower of what he did, because he's an indelible example. And you can follow him and a whole lot of people. Arthur Marara is also one of my great mentors. He's got a lot of things that one benefits from. Very, very practical things. So I believe that people have got to get themselves into a space where you are mentoring with people who've walked a certain road and have succeeded. And as you know, great minds think alike. And as the Bible says, as you have believed, so are you. So it's very important that people intentionally aspire towards good examples, and before you know it, you are, or at least you are on a good track.
That's great. As we conclude, I'm just going to add another comment. You know, we have people who are doing well in this country.
Yeah.
And as human beings, we're human beings at the end of the day. You know, we have children, you know. So a lot of successful people are inclined to offering those mentorship services to their offsprings.
Yeah.
You know, I think a man would rather empower or mentor his own son than other people's sons.
Yeah.
Because if you mentor and empower your son, you know, either the wealth or the value will stay within the family. But to mentor another man's son, you know, that can become it's not something that's easy for us, like especially as us Africans, like we're very family centered, you know, and it's even a human thing. So, but you know, I've seen right now there's a man in my life, you know, who I work for. He's my boss, you know. He's the type of person that he mentors a lot of young men who he's not related to. Of course, he helps his family, but he also mentors different young people who he's not related to.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to highlight that, you know, that dynamic, you know, that is present in the world that we live in. But yeah.
But sorry, just to wind up also,
Yeah.
especially using your African example, you'll see that the African culture itself talks about it takes a village to raise a child. And that just implies that everyone in that village is a child's mentor. So we just have to get back to, again, it goes back to the conversation that we had previously, that our value systems, we have to adopt them. You see that they were already geared. We are only beginning to realize when you are talking about mentoring, we were talking about mentoring long before colonialism. We might not have talked about mentor, we might not have used the words mentored, but we are already being mentored. Now we are only realizing, mentorship. Yeah, but it was something which was already happening. But we just need to go back to our value systems, as it were.
I like this conversation. There's a thread, it's like a cycle or a circle that's forming. we went from national pride, right? We need to develop national pride. And then we went to how we were degraded from human beings to animals, and how we need to, become human beings again.
Yeah.
And then we went to the nano economy. We need to structure a nano economy. And now there's this issue of mentorship and cultural values. There's a connection between all this that we're talking about. So yeah, we're mapping out solutions. That's good. Having conversations like this are good.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, we're now concluding this interview.
Yeah.
The future of the nation of Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
I'm Zimbabwean, you're Zimbabwean, we both love this country, but we want to see our country do better. What is your realistic and true vision of the nation of Zimbabwe in the next 10 years, 50 years, and 100 years? Let's start with 10 years, like realistically speaking, what's your vision for the country?
Okay, the country...
Personal, just your personal contribution. Yeah.
Look, everybody is going to continue their lives and so forth. But I think in order for us to go beyond, for as long as we don't believe in the country, then we're just going to live. But when we come around and say, hold on, this is our country. This country has got 63 minerals, which no other country has worldwide. Why are we having all these struggles? If we don't get to that realization, we are always going to be in the back foot. So for as long as we don't get to a space where where we own the country, we are always going to be having